Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Well, a little bit of surprising news regarding Joe Joyce. We've been talking about Joe Joyce a lot on this channel. In fact, I think the most viewed video that the channel has been about Joe Joyce and concerns that we have as fans about his health. Cognitive health appears not to be as many of us would like it to be. I mean, we're not doctors. I mean, at least ways I'm not. But anyhow, he was due to fight tomorrow. Patrick Korte, who's 24-4-1, and Joe Joyce was highly favoured. I mean, the betting odds here were prohibitive. But anyways, Joyce, who of course is 39, with a record of 16 wins, 3 losses, 15 of those 16 wins by knockout, was, like I say, highly favoured to beat Patrick Korte. But he's withdrawn. And there's been no reason put forward as to why he's withdrawn. He was supposed to be fighting in the British city of Bournemouth on the Ryan Garner and Jimenez, I guess, Salvador Jimenez, something like that. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But he's pulled out quite literally sort of the last minute. Queensberry Promotions, that looks after Mr. Joyce, hasn't proffered any reasoning, which leads us to question the upcoming fight that he's got against Dillian Whyte. They say that it shouldn't be affected, which it's a weird thing to say. It shouldn't be affected. Like, that's... I don't want to be too sort of, pedantic about words, but there's a difference between it shouldn't be effective and it will not be affected. So, shouldn't be affected leads me to think that there's an injury of some sort, like a niggle, a small injury that should be better by April the 15th. Would not be affected means that basically he's pulled out. He's not interested in fighting the guy, kind of thing. I would imagine, of course, that this is something that is, a small thing. But Joe probably thought, it's not worth going through with this fight. The guy is more of a lower level fighter. Should have been a kind of a walkthrough for Joe, but it's heavyweight boxing, something can happen, and if he's not at his best, he doesn't want to pick up a cut, he doesn't want to pick up some injury, and we know that Joe is not defensively blessed, right? So if everything is not as it should be, there's the possibility that, Joe could have caught one that otherwise he wouldn't have caught, and then that might have put the Dillian Whyte fight in some sort of jeopardy. Hard to say. It's just a weird thing. I mean, I'm always more comfortable, as you know, when Dubois, withdraws. If we have clarity, transparency, fighters withdrawn for X, Y, Z, absence of good, quality, intelligent information always leads people to sort of wonder. I hope there's nothing wrong with Joe. I mean, I think, probably over 95, maybe even 99% of the people who commented upon the video I put out about is Joe Joyce okay, were very, very, like myself, supportive of Joe and want him to be healthy and well, and we're all kind of worried about him, right? He's one of the really good guys in boxing, so I hope that there's nothing wrong. And hopefully this fight, let me correct myself. I don't want Joe to fight anymore. I want Joe to retire. But if he's made the decision that that's not going to happen, then I have to say, hopefully he's going to be okay to fight Dillian Whyte, if that makes sense. I mean, my preference is Joe says, I'm done. I'm good. Thanks, guys. Dillian Whyte, I care a lot less about, if that makes sense, Nothing personal against Dillian Whyte. I don't know the man, never met the man. But Dillian Whyte's in a different category, in my mind, to Joe Joyce. And so, but anyways, if the fight goes ahead, I would, that'll be a must-win fight. Because whoever loses out of Joe Joyce and Dillian Whyte, I think then they really, really have to hang them up. Unless you just want to be somebody there that up-and-coming guys, get rounds in with you and you're there to lose. I mean, I don't want to see that happen to either of these fighters, to be honest with you. So, there we go. If you've heard anything that can shed a light on what's happened to Joe Joyce, please let us know. Right now, there's just a couple of media reports that seem to be pretty vague. Shouldn't affect his fight. Yes, interesting words. Okay, that's all I got. Thanks very much. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And tomorrow you will see our first international guest. It's Andy from Andy's Cavern was a guest on this channel. You may remember last time I was a guest on his channel. So, something to look forward to. Okay, folks, that's all. Have a fabulous evening or day or wherever you are in the world. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.